Okay, welcome back, guys. So today we're going to I think I'm going to adjust the camera setting for this. To make, I suppose I was supposed to do this initially, but I did not. So let's try to get a proper camera angle for this. So I more or less want to use like a portrait kind of camera lens for this, which is around that is like field of view 85 millimeter lens for this. But I might just try some of the settings in there to kind of figure out which one works best, then I'll go from there. But primarily today's tutorial is majorly about doing not really proper and not really animation proper with topology on this, but just rough Z remesh with top on top of this. Then we can now reconstruct that to have various levels that we can use to extract our normal map and displacement map on top of this. But before I do that, so I'm just making just making various corrections a bit, just tweaking the proportions a bit more, just to get this to feel a bit better before going to Z remesh this. And after Z remeshing this, we'll begin to refine the sculpt a bit more, like to kind of get some more precise folds and wrinkles and modifications of the silhouette of the entire head, and even the neck also, maybe probably some part of the neck too. As it is now, it feels a bit rough. So, and I'm working with perspective view turned on. So I feel like this nose is a bit bigger. So maybe I'll just make some corrections for the nose. So I want to kind of get this to look almost close to the reference image we have on the side. So if you can get this to look really close to the reference image we have on the side, so when we kind of do Retopo, we won't need to make too much corrections on top of that. We'll just kind of use the Retopo and then just project that on top of this block out made in here. Because we're still going to leave this particular model the way it is, and then just make a copy of this. So I think it probably is in the right place now. So let me just make a duplicate of this. Okay. So let's see. Okay, let me hide this for now. Let's work with the duplicates. Okay, I'll rename this now. So Messi Stylized. Okay, that's fine. Let's see now. Okay, I think I still need to make a bit more correction, probably even on the nose here. On the nose, let me just push this in a bit more. It's coming out too much. Let me just kind of push this a bit more and down, probably somewhere around there. I'm not going to push this too close to the eye, so it doesn't feel like an African nose. I don't want that. So I'll still need some kind of distance, some kind of height distance in there, just to make it feel more Caucasian. So since I made another adjustment for this, let me just delete the initial one. Just delete the initial one. Then I'll make a duplicate of this new one. Okay, because I made corrections on that. So let's see. So this is the highest subdivision level now, and I'll delete the lower one. Okay, and I'll go to Z remesh. So I'm going to be trying a few settings in here until I figure out what works best for me. So let's see. These eyes, maybe let me make a few. Let me see if I can make a few more corrections for the eyes. The eye needs to be smaller than the way it is right now. So with the move brush, I try to adjust this even more. Kind of capture more like the roundedness of the eye a bit more on top of this. And just do some adjustment on this. The eye does not feel too good for now. So let me just try to refine this a bit more before I kind of do Retopo on top of this. Okay, so let me blur this out a bit more. I'm trying to use the oops, let me go back. Okay, so I want to try to use the gizmo, and it keeps going off. Let me see. Okay, I want to try to use the gizmo to kind of scale this down a bit more. Let me see if I can make some adjustments with this. So let's scale this down. Nope. Nope. Let me undo that. I need to undo. Okay, let me just push it back. Just push this out like so. Nope. Okay, somewhere around there should be fine. Then I'll just make some corrections for the eyeball. I'll probably will make an indentation for the inner part of the eye with the eyeball hidden, just to make this feel more because it still feels out of shape for me. It really feels out of shape for me. I'm just checking this from a distance now just to be sure. Now I have there's a lot of polygon on top of this. That's why it's making this a bit difficult to kind of work with. So I've soloed this out now. So let me just kind of dig this in a bit more. So I can kind of capture the thinness of the eyelid. Let me just adjust the eye in there a bit more. Probably something like this should be fine. We'll see. So now I need to delete the other one. Then this new one I just modified. I'll make a duplicate of it because I've made some adjustment on this. So let me just hide this now. I think it's safe now to do a rematch for this. So let me take down the adaptive size. Okay, turn on the text edge and keep creases. Now remove this. So I've done that now. So let's check this. Let's see what we have. I'm noticing now that there's the face, the deformation of the face around the cheeks, as the density is just too small for that. So let me kind of take this adaptive size up. Let me see if that does anything. I want to have a tighter polygon. I want to kind of have tighter, like the same size of squads around the model. So I want to kind of see if I can kind of get that by adjusting the adaptive size. Just the way it is now, to have something like this also, but on a lower subdivision level. So let's see what we have. Let's see what this gives us. Okay. No, it's still not working. Notice the neck has more tighter quads, unlike the face. If the quads on the face are a bit stretched out, so they are wider in space. They're not equally sized around the model. So let me just take this up a bit. I've already taken down the adaptive size. Let's see what we have again. I think we are beginning to get something close to what I want. So let me just divide this a bit more. I cannot reconstruct this. I was hoping that I'll be able to reconstruct this just to have a lower subdivision level out of this, but it's not working. Let's just see. We're almost getting there. Beginning to feel much better though. So I took down the adaptive size down a bit more. Then let me rematch this. So this is what we have. Maybe, just maybe, let me see if I can reconstruct. I cannot reconstruct this to a lower subdivision level. Okay. Let's see if we can figure this out. Kind of, it's even washed out the details for the eye. But no worries, I think we'll just leave this the way it is. So let's kind of project the deformation, the facial deformation from the low polygon remerged version to the high polygon concepted version. So I'm going to turn off. I'm going to leave the I'll leave the concepted version visible. Then I'll make sure my low poly version is hidden but selected. So that's the idea for that. Let's see what we have. Okay, beginning to get the shape. Okay, so let me take this down. Think I would add another subdivision level for this. Okay, so I'll go back, I'll turn on the high resolution version, select the easy image version, make sure it's selected. Okay, and make sure the concepted version is visible. Then we can now project this. Okay, okay, we're getting there. The eye still needs a lot of work though. I don't know if I should go up another subdivision level higher and reproject this again. Maybe, I'm not so sure, but we'll see. But for now, we can start working on this actually. So once we go down to the lower subdivision level for this, with the Shift D, we can start making some adjustment for this. So let me just keep refining this eye a bit more. So let me just keep refining the eye a bit more, kind of get something that looks plausible for us to use. Yeah, it's very important you have a reference image of the eye by the side. Very important. Because the eye of this particular stylized character, it feels more realistic compared to that of a completely stylized face. An example like the Frozen animated movie eye looks completely different from this one. This one, it has a more realistic structural forms or organic form of a human eye. So though not completely there, but something very, very close to it. So I'm kind of keeping that in mind and trying to make sure I kind of have an eye that looks really similar to that. So if you can't actually do that properly, it's always good to kind of have a reference of a realistic eye by the side. Or a better option is to look at your own eyes, Just try to pluck out your eyeballs and face that eyeball directly at you. Then you can use that as a reference, kind of capture the form or the anatomical structure of how the eye should be, and then just implement that on your sculpt. Hopefully you can do that. I don't think I'll be doing that because I already have a mental picture of the structure of the eye in my head. So you can actually pluck out your eyes and then use that to kind of capture the likeness of an eye on your model. But please don't do that. I'm just joking. Please don't do that. I'm just joking. Because by the time you're done that, you just realize that you're already blind. You're already blind. This is not an animated feature whereby you can actually plug out your eye and then you can see through your eye with your eye in your hands. No. You cannot do that. You cannot. Please don't do that. Please, I beg you, don't do that. Okay, so back to the sculpt. So I'll just keep refining this shape. The eye was actually a pain in the butt for me to kind of get properly, but I know what I'm supposed to do. So you're just making sure to use the right tools to kind of do that. That kind of aid you make this that kind of aid you to kind of make the eye a bit faster without wasting too much time on it. So basically now I'm trying to carve out the lower and the upper eyelid properly. Just kind of make that eye line a bit thicker, a bit sharper around it. Okay, so let's see. Because the eye is supposed to be smooth and rounded, more smooth and rounded, but it's not smooth and rounded yet. But we'll keep refining it. We'll just keep refining it slowly until we kind of get what we are looking for. Okay. I'm sure there are other proper ways to do this though. So I'm just making an indentation around this in here, just to have that. There is an indent closer to the starting point of the eye. So I'm just trying to kind of block this out. Then later on, modify that later on as I go. So let me just see how far I can go on this eye. There's a pain in the butt. I'm just try to get this as close. And if I don't get this now, no problem. I'll just leave it and then work on other parts of the model just to refresh my eyes, and I'll come back to it later and then make this look even better. So for now, let's just kind of get something rough in there. Let's just kind of get an approximation of how the eye should look like for now in there. Then we'll always go back and refine that. So now we have the leverage we have the leverage now to go to a lower subdivision level and kind of move things in place even faster. Unlike when we're kind of conceptualizing the likeness of the trying to conceptualize the likeness of the reference image on our model. So we didn't have that privilege to kind of move to a lower subdivision level and kind of move things a bit faster. Kind of while moving things when we're on the conceptualization mode or particular conceptualization section of the initial part of working on this model. Moving things will kind of making if we kind of move things a little, it does not move in a wider or broader transition. The movement is more like a more detailed. We're having more like a more detailed movement around it that could kind of break and deform the shape even more. So, but with the lower subdivision level now, you can kind of move things in a more broader spec in a more broader spec, but with more precise transitional flow to it. So let me just work on here. I'm trying to make the hair a bit more stylized by adding more like flat angles, more like flat hard surface angles around it. Okay, so let me just keep working on this. Just kind of tighten up the hair. I'm not going to be spending too much time on the hair though, but I was spending enough time to kind of get an approximation to a stylized hair that still has more of the structural forms of a realistic hair. So let me just see if I can, let me smooth this in first. Let me see if I can use the clay build-up brush and kind of add some thickness to this. Then I can use the H polish brush to kind of carve out a flat angular hard surface plane to it. So something like this here. Okay. I'm still, yes, I'm still. I'm sure you guys might be wondering what went wrong. Like, why is the guy not talking anymore? Don't worry, your earphone or your speaker is still working properly. I just intentionally went mute just to make you guys feel like this guy is still there. Okay, yeah. Enough playing. Let's keep working on this model. Enough playing, enough please. Let's keep working on this model. This is going to be long. This is long. So let's keep talking and working on this model. I'm sure I'm actually entertaining you guys by talking while working on this model. Because you don't want to watch a tutorial whereby the guy just talking like just once every 5 minutes or once every 2 minutes. That would be really creepy. Like that would be really creepy. Like really really creepy. Like you keep wondering like what's going on. But let me just kind of keep you guys. Let me keep you guys motivated and then keep you guys what should I use for this now? Just to make this entire process a bit more fun by talking and sculpting on this. So yeah, for the lip now, let's kind of make the lips more better. So I'll kind of flatten up the lips, then I'll add on top of that some kind of fleshiness to kind of give it a bit more thickness in the inward parts of the lips. Something like this. That feels we might need to smooth that later on though. Let me see. Maybe probably less. No, Let me just that feels weird. Feels like there's some steps in between, like some breakup in between the stroke. Yeah, something like this should be fine. Then I'll smooth that out. But it feels too sharp now. I also need to smooth that back into the skin because it feels just way too sharp. Feels way too sharp, way too sharp. Okay? Maybe I might just okay, no, not really, not really, not really. Let's just keep working on this. Nope. Let me get something like around here. So like I said before, I've come back to the eyes now to begin to refine the eye even a bit more. Just to have this feel a bit better because the eye is really bugging me. It's not looking right. At least not yet. Not yet. Not yet. But the idea is that I want to keep work on this several times, a bit more time. Not keeping in mind the actual time you're spending on it, but just taking your time to just kind of work on it to kind of make sure it comes out right over time, little by little is there a word like refination? There's no word like refination. Little refinements, little refinements on this will kind of get you there eventually. Little refinements will actually get you there eventually. So let me just keep refining this. But if you guys have already gotten your eyes right, that's completely fine. You guys are like really good. You guys are like pro. So I'm not a pro like you guys. So let me just keep working on this in my mature way until I get this right. Even though I spend hours on it, I'll spend eternity on this until I get this right. I honestly don't want to spend eternity on this because eternity is just way too long. Just way too long. Way too long. Way too long. Way too long. No, I don't even think about it. So let me just continue working on this until I get this right. As long as it takes. Yes. Okay. I think for close, I guess. Or maybe I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Maybe I don't even know what I'm doing. Of course I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I think the mistake I made was that I did not block out the form properly when we were kind of conceptualizing. That's why it's becoming a pain in the butt. But I will get it. I will. I will. I just have to keep working on this for the next 10 hours until I get this right. So just stick with me. Just stick with me. Just stick with me. I'm sure you guys have nothing else to do. I'm sure you guys have nothing else to do now. That's why you're actually watching this video. So just stick with me once I get this right. Oh, so I'm sorry. I'm actually joking. I don't really mean that. I'm sure you guys have a lot to do. So I really appreciate you guys being here watching this tutorial to kind of follow me on my journey until I get the proper high for this. As soon as I get this high and the eye looks completely right, I believe I'm going to be taking a screenshot of this and I'm going to be framing this and then hanging this on my wall and remembering this day for the rest of my life for making the perfect high. Yeah, I know. I'm going. This eye, I actually think this eye is actually going to be better than your girlfriend's eye. I'm very sure about it. I'm very sure. I'm very sure. Like for real. Like, look at those beautiful eyes. Like check out these beautiful eyes. Check out these beautiful eyes. Aren't they something? Yeah, they are. It's like a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. I believe it's a masterpiece. And no one can tell me otherwise. So yeah, so let's just keep working on the nose right now. Let's keep working on the nose. So then I'll just fill this up, but that depth was just way too much. Let me just fill it and I'll smooth this back down. Yeah, smooth that back down. So that feels a bit better now. Okay. I don't know why I'm feeling hype. I just have this hyper good feeling today, so that's why I'm just cracking a lot of jokes. Initially, I'll just go straight to the point and just be too professional about this, but what the heck? So let me just kind of break off the pathway of being professional and be unprofessional about this work. Okay, so let me see. Let me just so now with the leverage of going down to lower subdivision level, I can kind of adjust this now. You can see the transition I was talking about initially. So with a more lower subdivision level, the transitional movement around this when making broader corrections to this. it's kind of cool because it gives you that leverage to have a cooler transition around that, and then you're not really affecting closer or tiny details that kind of break up, that kind of deform and then give you a kind of weird bent curve around that region. You're kind of adjusting to kind of make additional correction on top of that, and then spending more time making correction on top of that. But with a lower subdivision level, you can actually make broader movements with a more smoother or better transitional flow to it, like I explained earlier. So I'm just going to make an indentation in here. So let me just make an kind of correct this a bit more. Okay. Let's see. Let me see if I can make an indentation. Let me build this up. So let me just build this up and then I'll smooth this back down. I'll do a lower intensity of smoothing here. Something like this should be fine. Okay. We're getting there. We're slowly getting there. So yeah, I think this is a good time to kind of block out maybe a good time to block out the wrinkles. So let me kind of block out the wrinkles in here now. I'm mostly working on symmetry mode for the entire thing. If you want to break symmetry and kind of make some asymmetrical adjustments in here, that's completely fine. That's actually completely fine. You can do that if you want to. If you want to kind of do this in different layers also, you can also do that. But based on the fact that I'm not doing this professionally to kind of get this towards animating this in the end. So I'm just kind of roughing things out. Like I'm not really creating tutorial. I'm not really creating layers for each particular step. I'm not too basically I'm not too careful about this. So that's the general idea. I'm just having fun right now, just sculpting whatever I see in here. I'm not too concerned about making this a production ready model. I'm not kind of creating something just to put on my portfolio, just to show you guys my entire process of creating this. I know, right? This tutorial is really getting longer than you expect. I know, right? But the idea for this tutorial is not actually to get this, like I said initially, it's not actually to get this production ready. So I'm basically just having fun. I'm just having fun because I'm sculpting this for myself. So instead of sculpting this for myself and then not showing you guys my process, so that's why I just decided to record this and then just to show you guys what I do when I'm sculpting this at a very slow pace, like a really slow pace. But that's fine. That's completely fine. Either ways, I'm enjoying the process and I'm actually learning a lot from this. So it's a win-win for me. It's a win-win for me. I'm sure it's a win-win for you guys also, especially the beginners that don't really know how to go about something like this. So for the expert, I'm sure the expert won't be needing this my tutorial actually. So I'm actually creating this for I'm actually creating this tutorial for mostly beginners and intermediate users who just want to kind of get a general idea of how to start a project with a stylized reference on the side, or how to work with stylized reference with just one view. So I'm just basically giving you tips and tricks on how to do that. A very important tip is having anatomical structures in your head. Like realistic anatomical structures will help you a lot, especially when you have them on the side of the monitor to kind of kind of check that way it is, and then try to find a middle ground or an average line whereby you can translate the realistic forms into a stylized looking form. Because even though it's stylized, it still has that ideology or constructive flow of a realistic human face. So once you have that constructive flow of a realistic human face in your head, transiting that into a stylized model will just kind of flow through. Even though the stylized model is having a exaggerated form, based on the fact that you already have that organic nature of a human realistic reference in your head, it gives you like a guide so you don't fall off the cliff while kind of implementing like the major forms and break up and exaggerated. Even though there are exaggerated forms, like it still has that the realistic idea you have, the realistic anatomical structure you have in your head serves as a guide so you don't fall off the cliff majorly. So that's like the general idea behind that. Okay? Because the idea is that once you're working with this just one reference image, it's more or less like filling up the gap. So where the reference image does not add up, having the anatomical structure in your head and then still making sure you want to kind of follow the guideline of the reference image on the side, that helps you fill up those missing gap in the reference image. So that's like general idea. So I'm just gonna block this out. So the idea now for this sprinkleness is to kind of do this in a lower subdivision level. So when you kind of increase your subdivision level, it kind of adds that deformation to it, like free, it's completely free. The deformation becomes free, like because you added this in a lower subdivision level. So I'll just try as much as possible to kind of get this tutorial out to you guys. But I'm sure by now, if you've already seen this tutorial now on my YouTube page, that means I've already completed the project already. Because I don't want to just post work that has not been refined already. So I was thinking of posting it probably once a week. But I'm sure you guys, because even me, it happens to me also. Before I watch any tutorial, I want to kind of see the preview of the finished work. I always want to see the preview of the finished work. So the preview of the finished work gives me a clear idea of okay, I think I need to watch this tutorial. But if I just posting tutorial without a finished preview without a finished preview, without the finished preview on the thumbnail, it kind of discourages people from actually watching the tutorial. So that's why I'm kind of taking my time to I'll kind of make sure I finish the entire tutorial before actually posting it. And even when I'm posting it, I don't think I'll posting it once a week. I think I'll just post everything once on a separate playlist. It's even a stylized character playlist, so you guys will just see. So you guys will just kind of see it in a stylized character playlist, and you'll just be able to check the preview and then be able to watch it and then subscribe to the channel just to encourage me to create more content like this. Okay, so I'm just blend this back down. I don't want that to be too intense because it's not too intense on the forehead also. Just to have something that kind of rolls around when light reflects on it. That'll be fine. Another challenge you might be having, though, maybe it's not really a challenge though, because I'm still going to be showing you guys the process. So it'll be like a bonus for you guys. So I'll be creating the eye. I'll be creating the eye for this stylized character from scratch. Then when I create the eye for this stylized character from scratch, I'm going to be using that as a template for all the characters I've been working on. So the eye of the stylized character is a bit different from the realistic eye. Though there are some kind of similarities though. If you want to kind of make it more realistic, they have some similarities to it, but not completely the same. But the concept or the anatomical concept behind that it can still be translated into creating a stylized eye. So just to make it look and feel more realistic. And we're still going to be painting. I think I'll be painting majorly the skin for the I'll be adding skin pores too. I think I'm going to be painting the texture. I think the base layer of the texture though will be painted painted J instead of Zbrush. So which is actually cool though. So before we kind of move that to substance paints and kind of do some kind of refinement on top of that. So now I'm kind of adding the stylized edges around it. Like most stylized images usually have like kind of hard surface, sharp line around the organic forms of this. So I'm kind of adding that in there now. So I've done that also for the eyebrow. This eye is still freaking me out. It's freaking me out a lot. It's freaking me out a lot. I think I'll just keep working on this until I get this right. But that's fine. It's fine. Even though it freaks me out, I believe I'll do this right. I'll do this right later on. I'll do this right. I think the reason why I'm not getting this properly because I'm not actually looking at a reference image on the side. I'm kind of using reference image in my head kind of do this. But I'm sure I'm going to get it. So I will kind of advise you guys to use your own reference. I have a reference image on this side, so you kind of do this properly without making mistakes and then doing this for a longer period of time, like I'm doing right now. Yeah. Okay, so I'll keep working on this. So we're almost getting close to the end of this particular phase, though. We're already getting close to the end of this. So let me add a sharp line around here. Now smooth this down. I'll smooth this down. Okay. So let me just keep working on this. Alright, so almost getting close. Let's just add some sharp line around here and I'll smooth that back down. Let me do this again. Yeah, something like this should be fine. And now smooth is the intensity of this smooth is not really high. I'm using a lower intensity for this smooth just to maintain that just to still keep that sharp line around it. So I'm gonna do something similar also for the ear. Just create like a I'm using the Dem standard brush and I'm holding Alt. So I'll kind of create a line around that. No, there isn't enough topology for this. Yeah, it's kind of do this properly. So I might just kind of ignore this and not do too much of it in there. So I can do for here. This place will work just fine. Here also, and I'll kind of leave that the way it is. Okay. So we're getting there now. The face without the beard looks a bit weird though, but no worries. Once we start adding the beards in here, everything will begin to feel more realistic. No, not really realistic though, but feel more like the likeness we're using. So let me kind of add that sharp line in here also. Something like so. That's fine. If I go to the higher subdivision level now, you kind of see that line showing properly in there. Maybe I can just do something in here also. Yeah, something like it should be fine. I'll just move that back down. So it's there, but not so obvious that it's there. Maybe something for this also. I don't know. No. Maybe smooth this out. Yeah, that's fine. That should be fine. Okay. Okay. Let's see what else you can fix. I'm hiding the eyes. I'm hiding the eyes. I don't want you guys to see the eye. I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed. The eye is messed up. The eye is completely messed up. Yeah. I'll fix that later. For now, the eye now is like my arch nemesis. Eyes, my arch nemesis. But I'll fix that later on. I'll fix that. Let's get this line in here like so. Something around here also. Okay. I'm sure you guys get the drill already. I'm not going to be doing this the entire model though, because that does feel weird. That'll feel weird. Though it depends on the concept you're working with though. But I'll just do this just on some regions just to make this feel more stylized, even though it has some kind of smoothed and rounded organic flows and organic softness of a realistic human face. Okay. Let's see what else you can adjust. Let me hide my shame. Let me hide my shame from you guys. Back to the eyes. My arch nemesis. So let me just now we need to push this down closer to the eyeball. Just to have this wrap around the eyeball. Okay, so I'll just leave you guys to it while you guys keep refining this, or while I keep refining this also. Once I get this right. So I'll see you guys in the next lesson. So bye for now. I'm still watching you guys. Yes, I'm watching you guys. Keep working on this. Keep working on this. I'll see you guys later. Bye.